Good morning, friends. It's been like over a month since you've seen my face on camera. So anyways, let's hop right into it. Where have I been? Why am I MIA? Why am I no longer couponing? Here's the thing. I've tried to film this video now. This is my 8th time I've tried to film this video. Every time, in the beginning, I was like, oh, maybe I showed too much information. I've always tried to be transparent with my life. When I initially sold myself to the devil, and when I say sell yourself to the devil, it means like when you become a YouTuber, you have to pick and choose what you want to put on camera, because people are just gonna like, I will tell you this, people like drama. So if you want to be like, I feel if you want to be like this big famous person, put your life on camera, because people tune in for the tea. And I just don't overly share like that, just because I don't. But anyways, I tried to film this video several times, and every time it was a bust. And then last week, I thought I was doing really good, and I'm actually going to show you what happened. Ever since my dad's death, it had just really affected me. Last week, I was filming this video, and then boom, this happened. Over sad things, and it's like I can't not look at his grave, because it's literally right. I gotta turn around. See, this is what happens. It's like one thing, and I honestly think that my dad's tombstone is now out there, which I can see my dad's thing, and I didn't want to do it, but I don't see the little plaque thing that they put. And once again, this is so emotional for me. And then for people to understand, you have to be transparent, and I have to be transparent. And every day it just gets realer and realer. And I've been waiting months for this. So it's, I don't know. Every time that I think that I'm good, I'm not good. With my dad passing away, and even though like I knew it was coming, I knew my dad was sick. My dad had stage 4 cancer, and he was diagnosed in stage 4. So literally there was nothing that could be done. Like, I'm gonna try to do this without crying. When my dad was diagnosed, it was too late. And even when I found out that my dad was going into hospice, and the doctors told me like it was time, there was nothing else to do, he was already like going down, I cried to the doctor, I'll never forget, and I said, you know, I wish you would have found out sooner. And the doctor told me, he was like, I want you to know that your dad had a very aggressive cancer, and there was nothing that you could have done to, even if he would have found out sooner, it was just an aggressive cancer that spread. And so like, it's just one of those things that like you really come to like, I don't know how to explain it. And like, even though other people may have lost a parent, I don't know how you feel, and you don't know how I feel. Like, we can all empathize for each other, but I don't know how you dealt with it. I don't know how you got through it. And, you know, people don't know how I'm dealing with it. I cry a lot every day. I cry. And I cry in silence. I cry in the car, I cry at home. You know, And if I'm talking about, I can talk about my dad sometimes without crying, but 9 times out of 10 I'm gonna cry. So it's also a lot when someone dies, and like everything that you have to go through, paperwork, you really find out about how people are and how people are just money hungry, and like who's getting this and who's getting that. And it's just like a lot behind the scenes that I've dealt with, and it's just like it's just like, it's disgusting how people can be. It's disgusting how people feel entitled. It's disgusting how people want to benefit off of someone's death, and you're just like, wow, like this is really what this has come to. Like people only care about $1 when I'm over here wishing my dad was still here. I'm wishing that I had one more second with my dad. I'm wishing that I could have told my dad I loved him one more time. And when I tell you, like, I have no regrets when it comes to caring for my dad, talking to my dad. When my dad was transitioning, I could not get out of the bed. I was literally in the bed with him holding his hand. I could not get out of that bed because I knew that I was losing my dad. I knew he was leaving. And like, it is different. It's hard to explain. And then so it's like you go through this whole, for me, I won't say I go through this roller coaster of emotions to where I want to be okay, but then I learned that it's not good to hold in your emotions. It's, if you have to cry, you need to cry. Like, and a lot of people ask me like, oh, have you been to grief counseling? And I did go once, and the reason why I stopped going, it wasn't, I went in November when I was trying to get in there, and you have to go through these, I got an appointment is what I'll say. It's nothing bad, but it's just like trying to figure out where you're gonna go. And you can do it on Zoom, you can go face to face. Can't just go here, go there. I have to make sure I'm at the daycare by 6 o'clock, so I really have to plan my life out. And so with that being said, it's like when I initially went to grief counseling, I cried through it, and it was very good to hear other people's stories. But the thing that happened was that I got really sick the whole month of November. I was so sick. Even when I went to Chicago for Ava's game, it was Ray's birthday, I was so sick. I had my nebulizer, I had an inhaler, like I was so sick, miserably sick. But I did what I had to do for my kid, you know? So once I got back, it was the holidays, and it was just, I was really sick. I had no voice, I couldn't talk. And then with being a teacher, like I couldn't even go to work. Thank God, like I was off for Thanksgiving break, and that was during the time that we went to Chicago. So I had that week off, at least to like rest my throat and my voice. Rest my throat, is that even a thing? But whatever. So I just ended up being sick, and it was still lingering, and it was Christmas. It was like, I just kept like, okay, I'm okay, I'll go to the next one. And then life just been lifing. Like, I'm trying to tell you, life has been lifing. Every day I get a piece of paper in the mail, and I'm like, literally like, what the fuck? Like, that's literally like how I feel. Like, I have been so annoyed just with people and their greed and just the nastiness, things like that. And I really try my best to like not lose my shit, you know, but some days I just want to scream, because it's like, I just can't believe like this is where I'm at, you know, like this is what this is like. I just want my dad back, and it's just very hard to process that my dad is not coming back. And I know this. And I deal with Rain talking about it, and she's gotten better, but it's not just me that misses my dad, you know. I deal with my kids missing my dad. I deal with my mom. My parents still got along. My mom misses my dad. My parents were they got along very well. They were not good together married, but they were like absolutely wonderful divorce, like the best of friends. Right back. Okay, I had to go get my drink. That's how I start my day. So yeah, so basically that's just like what I've been going through. And like, no matter how hard I try to like be this happy person, it's like currently what I'm going through, and it's really weird because this is the first time that this has happened. I can't sleep at night. I'm having these dreams, and it's Saturday will be 7 months. The 7 month that my dad passed away. I don't know where it cut off, but what I was saying was that Saturday will be 7 months that my dad has been gone. And so like for the last 2.5 weeks, I will say, maybe, I can't remember when it started, like around there, like a week and a half, 2 weeks, something, I don't remember exactly. I've been having these dreams, and so like I cannot sleep at all. No matter how hard I try, I cannot sleep at night. So when I get home from work, I'm exhausted. At 5:30, I want to go to sleep every day. So I pass out, and then of course like I'll get up and I'll feed Rain, or I'll get her something. If we eat out, I'll get her something to make sure that she eats, or and then I'm out cold. Like, I'm just exhausted, and it's because I can't sleep at night. And so that's another thing. And so like it's just like a lot. And every time, like on Saturdays when I think that I'm okay, and I don't like being on camera if I'm not genuinely myself, because I'm just like a naturally like free spirit, high on life, happy go lucky person, like all the time. Like I'm never like unhappy or down, or I try not to let what's going on anywhere affect my mood. Is like I always try to be happy, not just down. But this issue that I'm having and losing my dad is like, hold on, one of my students, this whole thing is just like different. And like I've lost before. Like my stepdad committed suicide, and I never cried because I was in shock when that happened. So when like that happened in 2011, I didn't have this whole breakdown that I would have thought that I had. I was like in shock. And I was so busy making sure that my mom was, trying to make sure that my mom was okay and my mom was going to survive. I was so busy focused on my mom that nothing else mattered. Like I couldn't cry. I had to be strong for my mom. And so in 2014, my grandma died, and that really affected me. And losing my grandma was hard. Like I was really close to my grandma. I only had one grandparent my entire life, and that was my granny. And so when she passed away in June 14th of 2014, I hate the number 14. My stepdad passed away September 14th. My dad came home on hospice on September 14th. I fucking hate the number 14. It will never leave. Like I pull up to a gas pump and I look up. I hate the number 14. I hate it. And so it's like the day that, my dad came home, and it was the 14th, I was like, oh my God. And it was the anniversary of the shooting, which was the day that my dad came home from the hospital, and like we were on hospice. And so like all of these things like go through my mind, and like it bothers me. And so like I remember talking about this at the funeral, I don't really remember everything that I said, but one thing that I said at the funeral, when I spoke at my dad's funeral, was like, I don't know what has been worse. My stepdad raised me and was a good man. Waking up and finding out that your parent was tragically gone, or watching my biological father, who I absolutely adore and love to death, watching him die, you know? I don't like, and I would have to say it's weird, you know? I couldn't say goodbye to my stepdad, but I got to say goodbye to my dad, but I didn't want to say goodbye to my dad, you know? Like, I didn't want to let go. And I don't think that I've officially let go. So that is what I'm dealing with. And I try my hardest to, like, I have, like, when I'm up, like, meaning, like, my spirits are up. Like, I have to never be down because of Rain. I always have to make sure that I'm spending time with Rain, and I'm giving my time. And Ava's all the way in Minnesota, and there's days that I don't want to talk on the phone, or nights when I don't want to talk, and then I have to be available to Ava because I don't want her to know, like, if I'm sad or whatever, even though sometimes I do tell her. But even if she just wants to talk, I have to listen. And it's like, I still have to be a mom, you know? And so, and like, even now, like, I'm getting ready to turn into my job as a teacher. And when I tell you that I know that my true calling was to be a teacher, then oh, hold on. Hey, yep, I'm not late. Not today. I got up early. But I'm still late, but early, but not late. So, like, anyways, I will say that to say, what was I talking about? I don't even know what I was talking about. Oh, like, I still, like, coming to work is, like, the highlight of my day. And I say that to say because my problems don't matter anymore. You know, like, no matter how sad I am, I could be crying, but once I pull into this parking lot, my problems no longer exist. I immediately turn into mom, therapist, cafeteria, custodian. I'm like everything, because I'm responsible for 120 children, you know, and these middle schoolers are my babies. I absolutely love my students. It doesn't matter how hard of a day that I may have at work. I love making a difference and, like, being that go-to person for my students, you know, because I have these bonds with them and these relationships with them and their parents, and, you know, they depend on me. And I have a duty as a teacher to be there and be supportive of what they're going through. So, like, my problems don't matter anymore. And so my happiest going through all of this is when I come to work, because I don't think about it. I literally, like, it's out of the window. But once I leave, it's like, okay. And, like, a lot of people may not understand. It's like, I still live in my dad's house. I'm not ready to let go. I'm still holding on to him. And it's only been 6.5 months. I'm still holding on. I don't go to the cemetery as often as I used to, because for about 3 weeks I couldn't go. It was just too hard for me to go. In the beginning, I wanted to go every single day. Like, I just wanted to sit out there. I would sit out there and cry. Then I couldn't go. And then it's like, I feel the guilt of not going, because I feel like I'm leaving him, and he's just, that's what makes me cry. I feel like I'm just leaving my dad, and, like, he's alone, and my dad didn't want to die. My dad was afraid. He was so afraid to die. He was so scared. He told my mom, please don't let me die. I don't want to die. But he didn't tell me that, because me and my dad were so close. me and my dad had this bond, and we were just so close. And we never talked about him actually dying when we knew it was happening. And I just think that it was just too hard for both of us. And it's like, I just feel like when I'm not at the cemetery, I feel like I left him, and I don't want to feel that way. And it's just hard. Like, it's just what I'm going through. It's just really hard. It's just so hard. And I want to be better. I want to be different. I want to be who I used to be, but I can't. I'm never gonna be who I used to be. I'm never going to be that person, because I'm always gonna be that person that lost their parent. I can't change that. So I'm always gonna have this hole and this void in my heart that I cannot get back. I just have to figure out how to process it and how to understand. And I can't question why God took my dad. Like, I can only be happy that I got to be with him. So when people say, like, where have you been and you're not couponing, it's just, I'm just trying to process what I'm going through. And yeah, I have to not cry anymore. I have to continue to be the strong person that I don't want to be sometimes. Like, I don't want to be strong. I want to cry in someone's lap, and I want them to tell me that it's going to be okay. Like, I want to be a baby, you know, but I can't. I don't get that opportunity. And sometimes when you are always having to be the strong person and you break, and people don't understand because they're not used to seeing you like that, you know? So yeah, so that's why my inconsistency, and if I can't be me on camera, I don't want to film. It's not about the money, and YouTube changed my life. Like, YouTube changed my life financially. Like, YouTube can be so life-changing for people, and YouTube definitely changed my life. Like, this, I wouldn't have this car, my dream car. I would not have this car if it wasn't for YouTube. And so, but I don't have the heart to get on camera and just do it for the money. I just don't. If I cannot be genuinely me, this happy, bubbly person, I don't want to be on camera. I can't. I don't want to just film a deal and be like, oh, this is a deal, because that's just not my personality. So that's what it is. I'm just struggling with my dad's death, and I'm trying to, like, get through it the best way that I can. And I'm actually gonna go online today and, like, email the grief counselor. But I just know that, and they say time heals all wounds, and that's where I'm at. So, all right, I'm not gonna cry anymore. It's time to put my big girl panties on, because I'm getting ready to go into class, and my problems are over. Miss Blake is clocking in. So I hope this kind of, like, explains why I've been MIA. And I'll film when I feel like it, as far as couponing. Like, I'm paying full price too, y'all. But I'm just in a different space. But yeah, I hope this explains it, and I really thank y'all for riding with me, because y'all been with me for a long time. We've been in this ride for years and years, and I've developed so many relationships and bonds with you guys that it's just unreal. And some of you have become my friends, and we text and you check on me, and I appreciate it. You know, it's the strangers that, you know, will reach out, and you guys are there, so I appreciate it. Anyways, I hope that this is helpful explaining. Thank y'all so much for watching. I love you to the moon and back, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.